Right now, breaking a years-long tradition, why one Madison organization won't be flying the LGBTQ plus pride flag this month.
Plus, Madison Bike Week is rolling along. A look at this week's events and a familiar face from News 3 Now this morning who is taking part. Good Tuesday morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Kyrie Lee.
I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's an alert day. We do have a chance for some strong storms that are going to roll in later this afternoon. All depends on, and Savannah will break this down, what happens this morning.
That's right. It is a bit sticky, though, if you're headed out the door. Don't necessarily need that jacket, I don't think, Savannah.
Yeah, I don't need the sweatshirt, that's for sure. Temperatures are on the warmer side. We're pushing almost 70, and some spots are in the lower 70s. Boscobel, Prairie du Chien, we're just a degree shy from that 69, our current temperature in Madison. And humidity levels definitely up there. Our dew points are not far behind. We do have alert day conditions that will be possible later this afternoon. We do have some sunshine, not complete cloud cover right now, but there are showers sitting west of here. If those kind of fizzle out, that would increase our chance of severe weather later in the day. Ultimately, the threat is low, but we do still have to watch for strong storms that produce some gusty winds. We'll time that all out coming up.
All right, we'll talk to you then, Savannah. Folks, you can stay ahead of those storms. Just download the free First Warn weather app from wherever you get your apps and stay ahead of the storms this afternoon. The Wisconsin Historical Society will not fly an LGBTQ plus pride flag over its building this June.
This decision breaks a years-long tradition. Officials say their mission is to preserve and share stories from all backgrounds, but some advocates argue this move does the opposite. Kristen Whitson, an archivist and author, co-wrote a book that the Historical Society published in 2021 called We Will Always Be Here. She says the decision to not fly the flag sends a powerful message. Whitson says the pride flag represents inclusion, not advocacy or partisanship.
It's a message that says, we will tell your stories, we will be good guardians of your history. Unintentionally, what they're saying is that their reasons for not raising the flag are more important to them than making LGBTQ plus Wisconsinites feel safe and welcome.
News 3 Now asked the Historical Society what led to their decision. They provided a statement saying that they needed to establish a consistent policy for flag raisings and that their support of LGBTQ plus Wisconsinites can be seen in its events, exhibitions, collections, books, and partnerships.
Today, the trial for the man accused of killing and dismembering 19-year-old Sade Robinson enters its sixth day. Maxwell Anderson faces several charges related to Robinson's death last year. Prosecutors say that Anderson killed Robinson after their first date, scattered her body parts throughout Milwaukee County, and then set her car on fire. Yesterday, jurors heard from Maxwell's downstairs neighbor.
And you don't even know what it is because you didn't see it.
You're correct. I have absolutely no idea. All I know is that something large was being transported down the stairs at approximately 5:30 to 6 a.m. I cannot testify and say I knew what it was, no.
Bed sheet. Tabletop.
Jurors also heard from the medical examiner who helped perform the autopsy. She described it as very unusual because the body had been received over several months. The trial is expected to last until the end of this week.
A judge has ordered the woman accused of killing her mother in Blue Mounds to stand trial. Prosecutors charged 31-year-old Sierra Schoonover with first-degree intentional homicide. They say she killed her mother, 54-year-old Heather Schoonover, on April 14th. During a hearing yesterday, the judge found Sierra competent to stand trial. Sierra stood mute during the appearance, and the court entered a not guilty plea by reason of insanity on her behalf.
The Fall River teenager accused of stabbing and running over a 17-year-old girl is now guilty. Dylan Lenz took a plea deal in the case. He agreed to plead no contest to attempted murder, and in exchange, prosecutors dropped 4 other charges. In 2022, the victim was found in the parking lot of the Beaver Dam Walmart with road rash across her body and was struggling to breathe. Sentencing is scheduled for September 12th.
In international news, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is praising the success of a bold surprise attack on Russian air bases Sunday. Ukrainian forces launched the attacks from within Russia, targeting sites deep inside the country with drones hidden in mobile wooden sheds. Russian officials downplayed the incident, saying only that several pieces of aircraft caught fire. The next day, peace talks in Istanbul ended without any major breakthroughs.
The price of oil is up this morning. It comes after Ukraine's large-scale drone strikes deep inside Russia over the weekend. U.S. oil climbed nearly 3.5%. It's now selling at about $62.85 a barrel. Brent crude, the world benchmark, jumped just over 4.5%. It's now selling at $65.67 a barrel.
Meanwhile, the U.S. manufacturing industry slowed down last month. A new survey from the Institute for Supply Management shows economic activity in America's manufacturing sector dropped to 48.5 in May, down from 48.7 in April. Any reading below 50 indicates the industry is contracting. May marks the third straight month of decline for the sector.
After hundreds of layoffs in the last few months, the National Weather Service is now hiring. The temporary lift of the federal hiring freeze comes as hurricane season begins. The move could mean several weather forecast offices won't have to cut back on employee hours or overnight staffing during times of non-threatening weather. This comes during concerns that neither the NWS nor FEMA are nearly as prepared for the hurricane season as they have been in years past.
FEMA's new acting head, David Richardson, reportedly surprised staff by saying he didn't know the U.S. had a hurricane season. He made the comment during a briefing yesterday, though Homeland Security officials claim it was a joke. Some staff members remain concerned as Richardson has no prior experience in disaster management. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem appointed Richardson, a Marine veteran and martial arts instructor, in May.
In Wisconsin today, a new affordable housing development is breaking ground in Prairie du Sac. Prairie Fields is the result of a partnership between local and school leadership and private developer Prairie Fields LLC. It hopes to address the region's housing crisis by creating some guaranteed affordable rental units for the next 10 years. Those units will be built on 40 acres of land sold by the Sauk Prairie School District. You can take part in the ceremony. It's 2 p.m. this afternoon at the site of the development, which is at the corner of Sauk Prairie Road and 21st Street.
Free summer meals are available again this year for children and teens across Wisconsin. The Department of Public Instruction has teamed up with local organizations to offer healthy meals through the food service program. More than 900 sites across the state plan to serve over 3 million meals this summer. All kids 18 and under in eligible areas can participate. No registration or paperwork needed. To find a meal site near you, call 211 or visit the USDA's Summer Meals Site Finder.
It's Madison Bike Week. The celebration's goal is to encourage everyone to get out there and bike around the city and make it a habit. Madison's celebrating its status as a platinum bike city. Platinum status is pretty rare. It's set up to talk about bike friendliness and is only held by 5 other cities across the country. With 85 miles of off-street paths and over 157 miles of bike lanes, city leaders say their efforts are transforming urban transportation, adding that their work is ongoing to continue increasing accessibility and safety.
We are working with the school district and also Wisconsin Bicycle Federation, developing a safe route to school plan. So right now, staff has been visiting schools and observing pickup, drop-offs, and taking notes on how things operate and how we can improve infrastructure to make walking and biking to school a safer and a more welcoming option.
This year, Madison says it'll add 4.5 miles to its bike network.
There are events every day during Bike Week for you to enjoy, including today. At noon, the UW-Madison Bicycle Resource Center will host a class on how to plan your commute. Later, stop by Fire Station number 9 in the Hill Farms neighborhood between 3 and 6 for root beer floats and other sweet treats. You can also get the whole family ready for summer bike rides by joining a Family Learn to Ride class from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Lucier Community Education Center. That's just a sample of what's happening. Find more events at madisonbikes.org and stay with us all week as we keep you updated on everything Madison Bike Week.
And take a look who was out there yesterday on one of those e-bikes. Our very own Savannah Brito. Helmet and all on that e-bike. Safety first, right?
Exactly. Had to wear the helmet. That's my bike that we got from the station from Crazy Lenny's e-bike. So yeah, there's like, I think 5 different speeds it can go up to, and my top that I got up to is like 20 miles per hour. So it's pretty fast for a bike.
Pretty fancy.
Yeah.
It's been incredible to see the transformation of the e-bike and like just how many are zooming around city streets and on the trails and everything. And Madison, upholding its reputation as one of the best bike cities in the country.
Yeah, I like how they have bicycle. You can rent those all across town. So definitely do that. Maybe not today, though, because we do have alert day conditions in the forecast. We could see some storms. Anything now, just rain, non-severe out in Iowa and Minnesota. We'll time out when those could make it into Wisconsin coming up.
And honoring our local veterans, I'm Josh Breiter, live in Dodgeville this morning with the unique way that Upland Hills Health is doing just that in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Well, any activity we see on radar right now is out across southern Minnesota and Iowa, even into Nebraska near Omaha this morning. We're seeing some lightning returns on radar and fairly heavy showers. Some of these could fizzle out before they enter across the Mississippi River and into the Madison area in southern Wisconsin. If we are able to see these showers hold, though, that's kind of going to zap the energy from the atmosphere for those strong to severe storms later in the day. We do still have alert day conditions that we're tracking. The possibility of seeing a couple strong to severe storms remains possible. Strong winds is going to be the primary threat, though. Overall, the Storm Prediction Center did decrease yesterday. The city of Madison and Southwest was placed under a 2 out of 5. Now everyone across the area nearly a 1 out of 5. So this ultimately, the risk is low. I think it's better to our southwest where that yellow color is overall ahead of the cold front, though. Later this afternoon, if we're able to see them form after the morning round, about 3 to 8 p.m. would be our peak time frame for those stronger storms. So we're going to be dry the next couple of hours. Once we get to mid to late morning, we could see that first round, and this is what I was talking about with the possibility of seeing this kind of zap the energy needed to support those stronger storms later in the day. Temperatures are definitely going to be warm out in Prairie du Chien near lunchtime. That area and places across southern Wisconsin probably going to be dealing with some pretty heavy rain. Might see a break, and that peak time, if we're able to see that line ahead of the cold front, would be 3 to 8 p.m. We'll still be dealing with some pretty heavy and widespread rain overnight into early Wednesday morning. This would not be strong to severe at this point in time. Just a couple of leftover showers, and then moving out of here as we head closer to daybreak tomorrow. A lot of cloud cover, though, to start tomorrow off. That won't set the tone for the rest of the day. I do think we'll see some sunshine later Wednesday, but cooler temperatures than what we had yesterday and what we'll see later this afternoon. Today's also going to be pretty breezy with winds gusting upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour. They'll be out of the south, but once the front clears the area, they return out of the northwest, and that'll slightly cool us down only a couple degrees, though, back into the lower to mid 70s for the days to follow that the rest of the week. As far as how much rain can be expected, we're looking at roughly ½ an inch up to an inch. Few areas could see slightly higher amounts, though, pushing maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and that's mainly going to be those areas of purple where the heaviest of the showers are going to line up. The wildfire smoke and the hazy skies that we've been seeing will improve a little bit once the front passes through the area. I still think into tomorrow, though, after the cold front moves out, we'll still be dealing with lighter to moderate levels of smoke, though just not as heavy as what we're seeing the last couple of days and what we will see present this morning.
All right, Savannah, we know you're on top of it. Thank you. All right, time to see what's going on in the 608 this morning. And area hospitals giving back to veterans this summer in more ways than one.
Our Josh Breiter is live at Upland Hills Health in Dodgeville with the story. Good morning.
Hey guys, good morning to you. So there are a couple of different aspects to how the hospital is giving back. The first one is this quilt right here in front of me. If you want to talk about intricate detail, this is incredible. And this is all through a group of volunteers here that are focused on giving back to veterans in the Dodgeville community. And one of those volunteers is joining us right here. This is Chris. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So this quilt is beautiful. And you guys are part of the Caring Crafters. What is that all about?
Caring Crafters is a group of people who spend their time making things and doing things for our hospital. So we're volunteers, and we sew and quilt, and we make cards for the surgery department. We make all kinds of cards for all the departments, and we knit caps for babies in the nursery area, and so we do all kinds of things.
So one of the things that you guys are really, really proud of is giving back to veterans. And how are you doing that through this quilt right here?
This quilt is called a passage quilt, and it's for our hospice department. And so when a veteran passes, they will use this quilt to remove the person from the home or wherever they may be, and the quilt stays with them. And so it's a special quilt for, this particular one is just used for veterans.
So I mentioned you guys are a group of volunteers.
Yes.
Why do you do this? What keeps you coming back to do more?
Well, we hear from all the people who receive things that we make, and we realize how it affects them, and how it affects them affects us and makes us feel good that we can give back. So most of the time, we don't even know anything about any of the people that we give to, but it sure warms our hearts when we know that we made them happy and helped them in their lives.
Oh, I'm sure it does. We have one of the nurses here at the hospital, Felicia, joining us as well. Felicia, good morning to you. You know, talk a little bit about, obviously you care for these folks. These are the people that you see every day. So something like this has got to be pretty meaningful.
Yeah, when we have a patient that has passed who's been on our hospice services and they're veterans, the families light up when they see these beautiful quilts that their loved ones are able to go out of the home with. It's a tough time, but this just really helps the family with a sense of closure.
And you talk about this community being tight-knit. Everyone knows each other. I mean, it's those little things that can make a big difference.
Yes, our hospice service is located in Dodgeville, and we go out to the communities, and these people know a lot of us nurses, a lot of us aides, and they really were such a family-oriented hospice group that it just makes it so much more special.
Oh, I bet. So if people are wanting to be a part of this, how can they do that?
They can always contact our hospital through the Volunteer Services Department. And our leader, Dee McConnell, is fantastic, and she will help them find a way to give back.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for being here. If you'd like to learn more about this story, you can go to this piece up on channel3000.com. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to be going outside. There's another aspect of the story that I mentioned, and we'll talk about those details coming up about 6:45, guys.
All right, Josh, thank you so much. What a beautiful way to honor our veterans.
Love to see it.
Well, still ahead, we're talking to, but first, send those ideas to Josh. You can do so by reaching out on social media or emailing him at in608@wisc-tv.com. But still ahead, we're talking to organizers of a special festival coming this summer. Find out how you can celebrate the food and music of Madison.
All right, we are back, folks, with a big announcement this morning. Madison is about to welcome a brand new signature summer celebration.
This September, the Warner Park Duck Pond will transform into a vibrant festival ground. And here to tell us more is Matt Girding with Lola's High-Low Lounge.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So this is the inaugural year of this event. Can you tell us what it is?
Year one, we are announcing today the True North Music and Food Festival. It is a single-day event celebrating a bunch of local Madison restaurants, a whole bunch of great music on September 27th.
All right, and again, it's at the Duck Pond. You're partnering up with the Mallards organization to put this all on. Food, music, this is the late summer, early fall season. Give us the details. What can we expect? I mean, as far as the music lineup, the restaurants that are going to be there, what have you done?
Sure, the festival is going to take place on the actual infield of the Mallards Baseball Stadium, which is pretty fun, but we've got 12 Madison restaurants, Heritage Tavern, Ahan, Bonzo, of course Lola's will be there as well. And we've got 5 bands headlined by Pokey Lafarge, who's sort of a gypsy swing kind of folk country artist from St. Louis, Mama Dig Down's brass band, People Brothers Band, a whole bunch of great music. But yeah, people can come celebrate great food in Madison, a bunch of great music, and we're going to throw a good party.
All right, so a lot of hard work has gone into this. What are you most excited about?
Honestly, at this point, just to get it out into the world and announce it to people. We've been sort of teasing people for a while, and a lot of our staff and the Mallards and everyone at Lola's is excited to kind of celebrate it and get it out into the open. So certainly excited for that. And then, producing these events is a labor of love. And so being able to sort of be there the day of, watch it kind of come together out of nowhere will be a pretty great feeling.
Right. It's exciting to launch something new. I mean, there are a lot of different things that people can do in Madison throughout the summer and the early fall. So what are you doing to kind of break through and, make this, like we said, like a signature summer event to separate it from all the other festivals out there?
Yeah, one of the things we're doing is focusing on food. So we've got 12 of some of Madison's best restaurants, kind of filling a void from the Yum Yum Fest, which was a food festival that happened in Madison for years. So we're focusing on that. We've got a pretty incredible lineup, and we're kind of, slinking into the fall a little bit. So late September is not kind of, the general summer festival season. So we're hoping to attract a little bit of students and sort of capture people's attention in a little bit of a later time of year.
All right, Matt, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Here we go. Thanks. Today, the man charged with abducting a Beaver Dam teenager is due in court. We'll have the latest on his case.
Plus, and now that Merida nurses are back on the job, we're taking a closer look at what caused the delay in finalizing their contract.
And the unexpected benefit from drinking your morning cup of coffee. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
I'm Kyrie Unley alongside meteorologist Savannah Brito.
All right, before we get to the alert day forecast, True North, TRU North, that's the festival we were just talking about, September 27th at the Duck Pond. If you want ticket information and all that stuff, go to truenorthfest.com.
Yes, it's going to be a new signature fest, so better lock in and see.
Sounds like a good time.
Get it, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's switch gears here, talk about the alert day. Oh, there's an alert day. It's still it's so warm and sticky outside. And
I know, it's not a terrible start, I guess, right now, aside of the humidity that we're seeing, but all of the rain on radar, that's been all to our west. We actually have a camera of that rain that's sitting out south of the Minneapolis area across Red Wing, Minnesota. That's where we're seeing some of that heavier rain all south of Minneapolis and across northern parts of Iowa early this morning. These showers could hold their strength. We were seeing a couple of lightning returns on radar, for the most part that's southwest of Waterloo, Iowa. If they're able to hold their strength, might zap the atmosphere energy needed to support those stronger storms later in the day. We're keeping, though, that alert day for later this afternoon into the evening. Peak time, if we are able to see those storms later, 3 to about 8 p.m. and damaging winds are going to be the big threat. But yeah, it'll be warm today. Will be hazy and still mild with temperatures pushing about 80 degrees. The haze from the wildfire smoke that we've been seeing last Friday, all weekend long yesterday, we'll start to see an improvement in that because of the cold front also. So I do think we'll see an improvement later this evening into tonight. We'll talk about how long that'll last, though, coming up.
All right, we'll talk to you then. Hey, folks, you want to stay ahead of those alert day conditions? Just download the free First Warn Weather app wherever you download your apps. Well, today, the man accused of abducting a Beaver Dam teenager is set to appear in court.
40-year-old Gary Day faces 2 felony counts of abduction and 2 counts of child enticement. Day's bond is set at $2 million. He's scheduled for arraignment at 1:30 this afternoon in Dodge County. Prosecutors say the charges stem from February when Sophia Franklin, who was 16 at the time, disappeared from her Beaver Dam home. Authorities issued a multi-state Amber Alert. Back in April, a truck driver and his wife later spotted Day and Franklin at a Nebraska truck stop. Investigators say Franklin is pregnant and Day is believed to be the father.
A federal civil rights lawsuit is now filed connected to the 8th reported death at Waupun Prison. The suit alleges former warden Randall Hepp and ex-security director Yana Pusick ignored rampant drug smuggling by staff and in doing so failed to protect Joshua Botwinski. Lawyers say that Botwinski struggled with addiction and mental illness. They say that he died from a fentanyl overdose in January of 2023. The U.S. Department of Justice is probing corruption at the facility. Staff have been fired or resigned amid those smuggling allegations.
A judge has set bond for a man arrested in connection with a Madison arson case. Vince Hildestad faces a charge of arson of a building without the owner's consent after a fire on Blossom Lane. The criminal complaint says Hildestad recently learned he has Parkinson's disease. He reportedly told investigators he wanted to give his cat a proper cremation and admitted to being under the influence of marijuana at the time. The fire displaced 5 people. Hildestad's next court hearing is scheduled for June 10th.
We now know more on how Meritor and the Nurses Union were able to finalize their contract. Took 25 bargaining sessions. in 5 days of strikes. Meritor and SEIU agreed to a 2-year deal that addresses concerns for safety for the nurses. It'll increase the number of nurses on the safety committee at the hospital as well. The union's president says that contractual language led to the hang-up.
We're able to meet on an annual basis to discuss staffing and discuss what's working and what's not working within our with our nurses and management with a guarantee of nursing input.
The contract also includes an 8% gradual increase in pay over the 2-year deal. The hospital released a statement on the new contract saying, "We are extremely pleased to reach a contract that we can all be proud of. Nurses are critical to what we do each day, and we believe this contract recognizes their skill, commitment, and passion."
The communities of Juneau and Mayville are continuing to rebuild after last month's tornadoes. Now the Tractor Supply Company in Waupun is stepping up to help the Schwant family farmers in Juneau. The company launched a fundraiser after the tornadoes devastated their farm, mangling machinery and flattening grain silos. The fundraiser takes place June 14th at Tractor Supply Company. You can donate in person, by phone, by mail, or through GoFundMe. So far, the GoFundMe campaign has raised just over $8,500 of the $10,000 goal.
Well, as you head outside for the summer months, the DNR is asking that you help prevent the spread of invasive species. They want you to stay on those designated trails. That way you avoid moving seeds and plants to new areas. Make sure to clean off those boats and all the gear after you use them. That'll stop the spread of aquatic invasives. And make sure you're following those firewood rules when camping. That makes it easier to stop the spread of pests. For more tips and rules, visit dnr.wisconsin.gov.
In national news, authorities may file more charges against the Egyptian man suspected of firebombing peaceful marchers in Colorado over the weekend. Police say 45-year-old Egyptian national Mohammed Solomon threw Molotov cocktails at demonstrators who were peacefully marching in support of the October 7th, 2023 Israeli hostages. The attack injured at least a dozen people, some suffering severe burns. Solomon made his first court appearance yesterday. He now faces more than 40 felony counts and could spend life in prison.
He was interviewed about the attack. He said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again.
Investigators say Solomon admitted he had planned the attack for a year. He told police he used Molotov cocktails because he couldn't legally buy a gun as a non-citizen.
President Trump says the new 50% tariffs on steel and aluminum will take effect tomorrow. He announced the new tariffs Friday in what he says in an attempt to provide support to the U.S. steel industry. The European Union already threatening potential countermeasures. Economists worry about increased prices, though, on everything from construction materials to canned foods.
The Supreme Court is declining to hear arguments in 2 firearms-related cases. One was a significant Second Amendment challenge to Maryland's ban on certain semi-automatic weapons. The other, a challenge to Rhode Island's ban on high-capacity gun magazines. The decisions leave those bans in place.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court will take on an absentee ballot election case. The appeal challenges a state of Illinois decision to count absentee ballots after Election Day. A federal district court ruled that plaintiffs were not injured by the law, and as a result, they didn't have standing to sue. Roughly 20 other states and jurisdictions do count ballots that arrive after Election Day.
Pride Month is here, but many major brands and retail chains are staying quiet this year. A new Gravity Research survey shows 39% of more than 200 companies say they're scaling back Pride-related campaigns to avoid what they call political headaches. However, LGBTQ advocates and allies warn that this pullback could hurt diversity and inclusion in the long run.
Well, Disney was far from the happiest place on earth for several hundred employees yesterday. That's how many the company laid off, mostly in its marketing, publicity, casting, and development roles in its movie and TV divisions. Corporate finance also affected. While the layoffs are significant, it only represents a small portion of Disney's 233,000 strong workforce.
Coffee drinkers, you could see an unexpected benefit. Your morning cup of coffee could boost your brain health. A study by Harvard shows women who drink coffee regularly in midlife were more likely to have signs of healthy aging. That includes having no cognitive or memory issues and being free of major chronic diseases. The study found that women who drank non-caffeinated coffee or tea did not get the same health benefit.
It's like having a superpower.
Drinking
coffee.
Drinking coffee?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I know, like, but kudos to you for not having a drop of caffeine in the morning. I have no idea how you do it.
No, I just, I've
Just
never
all
been couldn't get with coffee. I probably only ever tasted like a little sip, and it's just like, I'm good.
Just natural, just naturally perky and peppy with all that energy.
Yeah, you gotta be at this time of the morning. That's what the people want. You gotta be feeding off your energy, energy.
That's why I got several of those, just like a conveyor belt, just bringing them in every morning.
What cup is this morning?
It's 3.
Oh, okay.
This will be my third and final cup of the morning.
Final cup, though.
Yeah.
That's good because you've cut back.
I'm about halfway.
Proud of you. Let's check in with Savannah. What's coming up?
Well, guys, we're dealing with some rain. That's all west of the area right now, but we'll track the latest with your alert day conditions in the forecast today. Coming up.
Plus, honoring our U.S. service members, I'll show you how Upland Hills Health in Dodgeville is giving back to local veterans through these flags in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Good morning. It is a Tuesday and an alert day later this afternoon anyways. I think the peak time for any storms that develop, that's going to be roughly 3 to 8 p.m. where we could see a few stronger storms. If we could see those gustier damaging winds is going to be the big threat out there across southern Wisconsin. Anything this morning as well west, even west of Waterloo and Dubuque, Iowa at this point in time, around Minneapolis, Red Wing, Minnesota, those areas seeing a little bit of lightning on radar as well. Nothing this morning is severe. Once those do cross the Mississippi River, there's a chance they fizzle out. If they do fizzle out or weaken and we're not able to see as much rain this morning, that would help the threat of severe weather for later in the day. Ultimately, it's low, but we do still have that chance of seeing it. The overall threat has decreased across southern Wisconsin. Everyone, for the most part, just under a 1 out of 5. Yesterday, though, they had the city of Madison southwestward under a 2 out of 5. They pushed that all the way back to west central Illinois and southwest of even that area. So ultimately, that's where the best chance of severe weather is. All that stretch of yellow that includes Texas, Oklahoma, portions of Kansas, Missouri, and then west central Illinois. We still could see some stronger storms, though. Once we get past that mid to late afternoon time frame, that's when we're expecting that 3 to 8 p.m. But the morning round, a lot of the models, and I do think we'll see some of those showers this morning hold together. Then we'll see a brief clearing before that secondary round that comes along that cold front. That would pose the strong to severe threat. That diminishes quickly after about 7 to 8 p.m. We're still left with a lot of heavy and widespread rain. It just wouldn't be strong to severe at that point in time. Quickly falling temperatures, dew points, and then clouds are eventually going to start to decrease slowly tomorrow morning, paving way for some sunshine and temperatures that will be a little bit cooler tomorrow, only the lower to mid 70s, and that'll be the temperature pattern going forward after today. It'll also be breezy once the winds shift back from the south out of a north or northwesterly direction. They're going to decrease a little bit overnight into early Wednesday. We're looking at gusts only about 5 to 15 miles per hour, so there will be an improvement there. As far as how much rain we're going to see with this system, there's growing chances for some heavier rain. I do think at least most of the area sees 1/2 inch to 1 inch, but there will be areas that see 1.5 inches to maybe even 2 inches. So a small flooding concerns, especially in lower lying areas. The wildfire smoke too that we've been dealing with since Friday that carried into the weekend. We're waking up to still moderate to heavy levels across most of southern Wisconsin. Watch what this does once the cold front pushes through the area. We see a brief improvement, but I do still think, roughly speaking, we'll have lighter, at least maybe even moderate levels of smoke, creating that hazy sky and overall impact of our air quality and some to our sunrise and sunsets going forward the next few days as those Canadian wildfires continue to burn. But yeah, we've got the lower to mid 70s for highs going after that, and then the 50s consistently for nighttime temperatures. So about where we should be.
Boy, very consistent. Yeah, after that alert day, things calming down a little bit. Savannah, we know you and the team will be tracking that.
Yes, we will be.
Appreciate it. Hey, we're looking for some plan your day videos. Send us one. We'd love to show it on the air, and Savannah will give you a customized forecast to start your day off. Just share your name, where you're at, and then upload it to the website, channel3000.com, the First Warn Weather app, Facebook Messenger, or email, and then watch to make sure you make it on the air.
Switching gears now, in the 608, a local hospital is ensuring area veterans are remembered long after Memorial Day ends.
Josh Breiter is live at Upland Hills Health in Dodgeville to share some small town patriotism this morning. Good morning, buddy.
Hey guys, good morning to you. So we showed you that quilt made by the Caring Crafters last half hour. Now we're out front of the hospital where all of these flags are now sitting in the ground. There are more than 300 of them, and it's to honor our U.S. service members. Here to talk a little bit more about this project are two of the volunteers. We have Bev and Judy joining us. Bev, I want to start with you. What are these flags and what is this project all about?
Well, the flags are for the veterans, both present and past. To honor them, to pay tribute to them, and for thanking them for protecting our country.
And Judy, you have one of those flags in your hand right now, and each of these flags have a name on that. And what does the name represent?
The name represents the service person that was honored or in memory of. This one happens to be in honor of one of our people.
And this is year number 2 for this, and you guys have seen obviously a huge amount of growth already with this project.
Excellent. Yes, we started out with not quite 200 last year, just about, and this year we have 367.
That is a big jump.
It's a big jump. But the community is asking, are you planning on this project next year already? So I think it's a project that everyone can connect to.
Oh, absolutely. And I love how, you're seeing right now these flags obviously spanning the property. They're out by the road. They're in front of the entrance. I mean, this is pretty meaningful, and this really speaks to this community.
It does. It was so much encouragement and enthusiasm when we would mention to someone this project. They said, when can we contribute and get started on this? It's been such a fun project.
So you guys obviously are volunteers, and what keeps you wanting to come back and doing projects like this?
Well, when people get involved, the Dodgeville Senior Citizens this year donated the banner, and that was huge. The auxiliary is sponsoring us, and then we've got some funds that we can feel like we're contributing to the hospital.
So how can people be a part of this in the near future? What's the best way for them to help you with this project?
Just, I guess, give
their time.
Give their time and their support, and which we have. And when people see this, I'm sure it's going to even encourage it more.
It'll be kind of exciting to see where this project can go in the future.
Yes, it will. Right now, there's people that, like I said, are asking, you're going to do this next year, aren't you? And, of course, we're hoping that we can do it. We've had a gentleman that has been very fair with the flag cost, and it's just something that makes you feel good.
It really does. Well, thank you guys so much for what you guys do, and thanks for having us out here this morning.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, you bet. And if you'd like to learn more about this project, how you can help, I have a link up on channel3000.com. It'll be so interesting to see how this grows in the future. You guys heard that year 2, it almost doubled from last year. I can only see this going even bigger next year, guys.
Oh, I love to see it. Let's get the word out there, spread the word so that they can continue to grow.
Yes, honoring our veterans. Gotta love it.
Hey, Josh is always looking for inspiration to share in the 608. You got a story idea for him? He'd love to hear from you. Just reach out and let him know about it.
Coming up in the morning sprint, we'll take a look at stunning video from a volcanic eruption in Italy.
All right, now we got a special look through Who's 3 today. We've got Jordan here, who's celebrating his 3rd birthday. We may have a different Jordan. It could also be the same Jordan.
Oh, okay.
2 different people sent us this. If it's the same Jordan, happy birthday 2 times over. Otherwise, happy birthday to both Jordans.
Yeah, enjoy your day.
.6:53, time for the morning sprint.
The man accused of abducting a Beaver Dam teenager will appear in court this afternoon for his arraignment. Police say 40-year-old Gary Day faces 2 felony counts of abduction and 2 counts of child enticement. Day's bond is set at $2 million. The charges stem from February when Sophia Franklin, who was 16 at the time, disappeared from her Beaver Dam home. Authorities say Day and Franklin were on the run for weeks before officers found them at a truck stop in Nebraska.
Wisconsin Historical Society will not fly an LGBTQ+ pride flag over its building this month. It's breaking a years-long tradition. WHS says its mission to preserve and share all stories of all backgrounds. Some advocates say, though, the move just does the opposite. The Historical Society also says it needed to establish a consistent flag policy.
A judge has ordered the woman accused of killing her mother in Blue Mounds to stand trial. Prosecutors charged 31-year-old Sierra Schoonover with first-degree intentional homicide. They say she killed her mother, 54-year-old Heather Schoonover, on April 14th. During a hearing yesterday, the judge found Sierra competent to stand trial. She stood mute during the appearance, and the court entered a not guilty plea by reason of insanity on her behalf.
It appears Italy's Mount Etna is done erupting for now. The eruption sent columns of volcanic ash into the sky yesterday. The active volcano is on the east coast of Sicily. Although it looks menacing, the area of danger is only confined to the summit.
A federal civil rights lawsuit is targeting former Waupun prison officials over the 8th inmate death. Allegations claim ex-warden Randall Hepp and ex-security director Jana Pusick ignored drug smuggling, failing to protect Joshua Botwinski, who died from a fentanyl overdose in January 2023. The U.S. Department of Justice is investigating corruption where staff have been fired or resigned amid smuggling claims.
The Department of Public Instruction partnering up with some local organizations to offer healthy meals. It's through the food service program. Over 900 sites statewide are expected to serve more than 3 million meals this summer. The program is open to all kids 18 and under in eligible areas. No registration or paperwork required. To find a site near you, just call 211 or visit the USDA's Summer Meals Site Finder.
Well, temperatures are going to still be near 80 this afternoon, but also later in the day, we do have alert day conditions that will be in place for the possibility of seeing a couple stronger storms. Biggest concern or threat across southern Wisconsin is going to be gusty winds and then widespread lower to mid 70s and 50s for overnight lows. So pretty consistent after this.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. Coming up, CBS Mornings.
Our next newscast is coming up at noon. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.
Have a good Tuesday.